so funny though. So the STS was these phone cards, and you would buy minutes on a card so you could make calls.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is,
how people feel and what things are reported as.
most people don't realize that Disney's not even in Orlando.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's not. They have
I've
their
been
own.
to Disney
Their
a
own
ton of
town.
times. I didn't know that. Well, I barely know where I am anytime.
That's a moot point.
No, but everybody from up north will go, dude, you live in Orlando? You must be right next to Disney. Disney's an hour away from me. It's
Yeah, but I mean, it's 15 minutes from me. So I mean,
I know you,
not
but
necessarily.
you moved there purposely because you're an adult Disney.
No, my point is just
I'll
I
be
live in
nice
Orlando.
enough to
You
go
live in
to
Orlando. Orlando geographically is extremely widespread.
Not Orlando, Orange County.
Sure.
Orange County's huge.
Sure.
Huge county.
Like New York City, you'd say, okay, the metro area is 9-10 million people, and here's Manhattan, and here's the boroughs all around it, and it's a few miles spread. There's Jersey City, blah blah blah. In Orlando, they probably have 5 million people, but it's over like a 30-mile radius. So it's just and you need a car. So it's just a different dynamic.
Orlando is an hour away from Orlando.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, gotcha.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
so I think that what I was like, I see with a lot of people moving down here, this is the big thing. So in 2005, I went back home to help my mom after my dad passed away. And I went back and I called it getting my jersey injection. I was re-jerseyed, I got like back on fire. I worked up there at my friend's car dealership. I was phenomenal. I did really well. And I came back down here and I realized people didn't want to hire me because they were scared.
That's funny.
Because when you have that attitude from up north, it's like 20 years ago, it was a whole different world down here. It was still the good old boys,
Okay.
So, but now that attitude and everything's influxing down here, I see that we could be on a cusp of it erupting. I hope, which then this is where I was getting to with multi-level marketing or direct sales could blow up down here because at one point in time, Orlando was the underground for digital media. We were huge. And so I see it could happening because we really don't have anything that we're exporting. Like I said, all our orange groves are going away. They're building houses on top of houses. As my wife says, you can reach out and wash your neighbor's back. They're right there.
Yeah.
I mean, New York, you're used to it. The brownstones are right next door to each other. But
I'm in the suburbs, bro. I'm in Port Jeff, man. I got acre of property, man. I'm not looking for people to wash my back.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I always laughed. I found it interesting because I grew up in Jersey, but I grew up out in the country, and which people like. The first time I took my wife there, she was like, "We're not in New Jersey. This isn't New Jersey." I'm like, "Yeah, it's not all concrete, okay." And we lived on an acre. We lived out in the woods. The land behind my house was a reserve. They could never build there. So I mean, I grew up, and we'd go visit my grandparents in Brooklyn, who lived in an apartment, and I'm like, "How do people live like this?" And then,
I'm with you.
Then you learn. But I just think if they could take the right, like I lived in Dallas before I moved to Florida, I lived in Texas for a year and a half. And Dallas at that point was becoming rejuvenated because the real estate was very cheap and all big corporations were buying up the big buildings downtown and turning it into you could get a job. If I needed a job, I could go out and interview 5 different companies. I'd be hired on the spot, right? They were hiring everybody. I think Orlando could become that. But the problem is the mentality of the city is still in the 70s. Like if you could drive through some of these towns in Central Florida, and you feel like if you go out to the East Coast, like up north we call it the shore, but if you go down the shore here, you feel like you just went back in time. You're like back in the 80s. Like they never have updated anything, and it's still like that mentality. And the infrastructure, we're trying to catch up. There is not a road in Central Florida that is not under construction and has not been under construction for 30 years. Since I've been here, every road's under construction. Would you not agree, Derek? I-4, of course, when they did the I-4 expansion. And the 429's under construction all the time. Brand new highway, they're already having to make it 4 lanes because 2 lanes was not enough. It's just they don't. I don't think they think outside the box. They don't think the growth is going to happen. And I can go back to the 70s when Walt Disney opened up Disney World here, and he offered to build a train system to go to the airport and go to downtown and shuttle people around. They said, "Nah, we're fine." And now we have 70 million tourists, or 70 million people come to Orlando International a year.
Yeah.
That's huge number.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's go back to you. So in your coaching aspect, and I don't know how we got on a tangent about money, but that's okay. I like money.
We talked about Florida. I got two things to say about Florida. First off, is I say this to all my friends too. I think you guys will be in a similar boat. I always say if you can't make it on the varsity team, you can always move to Florida and be captain of JV, And then secondly, every time I hear about people talking about houses in Florida, they're like, look at this house, so cheap, the taxes are cheap. And so yeah, that's true, but the problem is it's in Florida. That's the problem.
Well, the biggest insult when I got here was I'm going to go work for the biggest game in town, which was Disney. I interviewed and they offered me a job and they're like, yeah, it's $5.95. I was like, $600 a week, back in 95 was a pretty good dollar,
Totally.
It wasn't. It was $5.95.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I made more pumping gas in Jersey in high school when I was 14,
That's wild. That's wild.
So
but no hate
you're
on
right.
Florida.
It is
I'm just
Florida.
busting your balls. No hate on Florida. I got a lot of friends down there.
Hey, it's look, I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. I'll be there on Christmas Day in shorts and a t-shirt because it'll be 80 degrees.
I get it.
And you guys will be we don't shovel sunshine down here.
I get it.
So tell me, when you're what do you look for? Are you more of a business coach or a personal coach?
Because it's a side project and I'm not like, let me niche down. I could do all of it. I mean, because I've been doing personal coaching, I've been doing business coaching my whole life in my career. So ideally, there's two groups, right? So I feel there's a lot of people that network marketing could fit for. They have to be the right person though. Like D-Rex said, you have to have a certain desire. And it doesn't have to be a personality, but it has to be a willingness. You got to have certain character traits. You have to really be in a position where it makes sense to do something that's going to be long-term. And you also have to love working with people because there's just a lot of options out there. And if you're a pure entrepreneur, because network marketing is not entrepreneurship. It's like entrepreneur light. It's kind of like franchising. So it's like you could do like your own stuff, but like D-Rex, it's in this box. Like you can't leave this box. This is the box you got. So, but if you're like pure entrepreneur and you're scrappy, you can do high ticket sales. You can do AI arbitrage. You can build a Shopify. There's a lot of things out there, but it doesn't create the same type of impact. You're not going to have the same type of interfacing and impact in people's lives. So it's got to be in the center of this Venn diagram of wanting to make a lot of money, but also wanting to do something that really tangibly affects people. On the coaching end, the thing I like doing is it's like a tangential skill. And it's like I've been doing the stuff in Amway. I could do that all day. I mean, help people like a lot of money. I make a lot of money in it, but I've been doing it for 20 years. So for some novelty, it's really nice to take those skills and whether it be in their personal life, it'd be finances, it'd be limiting beliefs, it'd be relationally, it'd be business coaching, it'd be getting something off the ground, whether it be an equity share for guidance and coaching or it be, paid, coaching but it's a passion project. So it doesn't really matter. It's really if someone, I got like them, because I don't got like this whole scaled out thing, so it's not like I got like 7 coaches, you go through 8 filters with my AI thing. It's like, book a call with just me when I'm free and I'll talk for half an hour to see if I like you and I can help. And if I like you and I can help, we'll figure out how much you can afford. And I'm doing it because I want to do it, so it's a very unique kind of a thing. I expected it's going to grow significantly. I haven't done anything really with it. And I have a ton of people that want to do it just from, from knowing me from Amway or prior connections and stuff. But wherever someone's at, I'm cool with doing that.
How do all these things, let's pick a topic time real quick here because we're getting to the end, but I don't feel like we've touched on kind of how these things are all married together, right? So we've got multi-level marketing, we've got coaching, right? We've got podcasts, authorship, other investing. How do these things marry together? I mean, are you allowed to mix them? Do you have your own funnel based on doing these things? Obviously you enjoy them, you want to help people. Does it also help you funnel them into streams that help them be successful and you be successful, right? I mean, is there it seems like you probably have developed a very natural progression of doing that. That would be my pure guess.
Right. Well, my only thing for a long time was network marketing and Amway. So that's the central of everything. So by the sheer numbers of people that I'm talking to, and start with Amway, leave Amway, that leaves an entire market of people that really value coaching and mentorship, but they're not doing network marketing. So that becomes a natural funnel once they're not associated, because there's a lot of legal stuff. They're not associated. Now they can, that's a great avenue for them, especially if we have a rapport. On the coaching end, my thesis is that doing these podcasts and doing 100 podcasts a year, and the data and the vibe I have is specific. So I expect that this is going to feed both of them. There's going to be some people that maybe network marketing works for, and it'll be a great connection. And maybe I'll be like, yo, Big Daddy Zak, you never met who I met. I got a diamond on my team from your shit. You know what I mean? Like whatever. Or they could be doing coaching. The other things that I build around it, that whether it be AI or investing, that's just to support financially to be independent. But a lot of the skills, they overlap, so if I learn AI skills or I go in a direction of getting a coaching certification, it adds value to all my core competencies. So I try to keep everything in that kind of community, that kind of ecosystem.
But can you professionally coach someone who is in your downline? I mean,
no, because I'm doing that for free. I'm making money based on building a business. So I am. They're just not paying me a rate to do that. Upside.
But then if they decide, hey, this isn't like, I'm not built for this. I don't believe, or I believe I'm not built for this. Yeah. That's okay. At that point, you can still have that relationship and still have a professional relationship with that person too.
Yeah. I think that that's just a good kind of smart business. It's catching things that are falling out of the funnel. Mm-hmm. Plus, we have relationships with a lot of people, and we know, like, you can have a lot of friends and stuff, but if you're not doing something together, if they're
how do you deal with that? Like in network marketing, people are like, oh, they'll only talk to you if you're in the thing, and just break it down. There's some truth to that because you're obviously focused in your sphere of influence and your professional relationships, but are you at peace with that? Like, are you good with that? Like,
oh, that's a good question.
I feel like the most successful people would be able to answer that and be like, yeah, I mean, it's what I love, and no offense, but if you're not in, like, you don't sell to your family and friends transactionally necessarily, but they're still your family and friends, right? So how do you keep that focus within your business and then still not neglect those other, friendships, because there's only so much time you have, right?
It's true.
And when someone's your friend, your business partner, your income, your family, all those things overlap, you're obviously going to live with them. But if they're only one of those things, right?
Sure.
It's tough.
I think, first of all, it depends on your personality and your temperament. I'm relational. I don't think there's anything more valuable than a relationship. I don't think relationships are more important, or I think that money is less important than relationships. I think influence, is all infinitely less important than actual relationship, and not relationship based on I get this, not quid pro quo, like a relationship where you care about the individual and their person. So there are a lot of people in network marketing complain about that because it's true. Are some people very transactional? There are people out there that they don't care. They're like, you're working with me or not. And I'm not here to say that's right or wrong. That's not me, but that is a type of person. However, network marketing gets a bad rap. Unfortunately, psychologically, anything that has strong culture gets in crowd, out crowd. You leave your local church and you say that you're going to become an atheist. I guarantee they ain't talking to you anymore. You go over the side of the aisle, your friends are going to, there's other people that are in the political party. They ain't calling to find out how you friggin' are doing. They don't give a shit, You're in the army and you decide that you need to retire. You've got mental health issues. They're like, that guy's an asshole. So that's the nature of any type of organization. That's something that has to be fought against. I have tons of friendships. I had a guy on my team that was hitting a really big level. It was the first guy hitting the big level. It was terrible time in our business techniques. And he left like in the middle of a big qualification. Screwed my team up, screwed everything up. I still talk to that guy all the time. I love that guy. It's not I don't own him. He doesn't owe me anything. We all have our own life that we're doing. I was at a guy that owns, he's like a 5th generation cobbler. He was on our team for a while, was doing stuff, left. If I like somebody and I have a relationship with somebody, that's transcendent of my financial gain from them. I think that just makes you not the kind of friend I want to have, if that's the way you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Interesting. Okay.
But at the same token, we all have responsibilities. Only so many relationships you can manage. I got 4 kids. I got companies. So I'm not friends with everybody. I'm not keeping in touch with 1,000 people. But anyway, just to clarify.
So you don't have the meet and greet in your backyard once a month for all 1,000 friends.
I just can't. I can't. I would love to. I just, in a different life without kids and a wife, I probably would.
That's awesome. And you were talking about the DR. Are you guys thinking about? I'm going to switch over to the children because you brought them up. Are you thinking about homeschooling them?
Well, we homeschooled my kids for a little while, and then we're like, my wife's like, we gotta, like, this is crazy. So we put the twins. They went to first grade, so she did it for like kindergarten. I think it was just a year actually. So like kindergarten, and this school, I can't speak high enough about this freaking public school. I was super weary of public school. This school that these kids are in here is unbelievable. I can't imagine a better run school. So we're so happy with it. It's kindergarten, first, second too. So it's just the young kids. So I am for flexibility, but it's going to depend. Some of our great friends that are actually in the business, they live in DR. So they've been amazing friends of ours for a decade. They live in Santo Domingo. So I'd like to be able to spend 2 months a year there. And I also love DR. I think the vibe's awesome. I think it's cool. So it's possible. It's on the table, but it depends. My daughter, Phoenix, she's super social. I don't know if she's going to want to leave her friends. So we'll kind of see. But, the influences in the middle school, I'm pretty weary of. I don't think it's that big of a deal up to about 5th grade, although there's already some stuff trickling, but I'm not sure. So we'll see, though. Up for debate.
Does your wife run the business with you?
She did for most of the time, but now she runs the 4 kids and everything else that comes with that, because that is much more than any size Amway business to run.
Oh, 100%.
So
most underrated job in the world is being a mom.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. Yeah. So she does CrossFit 6 days a week, or 8 a.m. class. She runs the house. I run the business stuff. And that's kind of how we do it for now. But she's at some stuff when she can.
Do you think you'll take your coaching business to the next level and do public speaking?
I love public speaking. I mean, I've been doing it for 20 years. I've spoken at groups up to like 15,000 people. You've been at conferences and stuff. Public speaking is a definite something I love. I consider rhetoric to be my art. That's why my wife was like, "You're going to do like 2 podcasts for like 2.5 hours with no notes and like in 5 minutes." I was like, I could do that all day. You throw me on a stage, you ask me some questions, I could do that for forever. I got content for days. So I am totally open to doing public speaking things. The only condition becomes that my primary in my life is making sure that I don't miss my kids' childhood. So I think that being able to say no to things like, huge. I'm not here. I don't know Gary Vee, and I'm not looking to throw shade, but my version of absolute nightmare is you become really, really wealthy, successful, and famous, and you divorce your wife at 50 and you start dating a 20-year-old and you lose your family and your kids because you traded it for me, and I'm not judging. That is the biggest, worst trade, biggest nightmare in the world. Mm-hmm. So I'm really intentional. It's the reason that I haven't gone diamond yet. It's because you could just go work. I mean, if you're going to successful, you're entrepreneurial, you can work and make money. But at the end of your life, you're 80, 90 years old. What's that $10 million worth versus what you sacrificed?
Yeah,
so
is it your family at your bedside, or your $10 million at your
totally
bedside?
Yeah. Like if
I think about that all the time, not having kids, it's like, that part of it sucks. It's like, you're like, I'm gonna die alone. Right?
I'll be at your bedside.
And like you said, you just painted that picture, leaving your wife at 50 and running a multi-million-dollar company and dating a 20-year-old. Yeah, on the surface, man, you're the man, right? But like deep down in your core and your soul, I mean, I hope you're full, but I think a lot of people aren't. I think a lot of people are just almost feeling dead inside, per se.
It's funny because my wife and I have been together 15 years, and I'll sometimes just out of the blue thank her because I'll see like all this nonsense dating and this, that, and the other. And nowadays you don't know what you're going on a date with, And I'm like, thank God. Like, yeah, literally. Thank God I have you, because I don't know that I'd dive back into the dating pool. If my wife passed away, heaven forbid, tomorrow, I always joke, me and the dog are going to get a trailer and we're going to go live out in the mountain, and that you're never going to hear from me again. I'll do a podcast with Derek, but I'll have a beard like down to here, and
yeah,
we'll talk about hunting in the woods.
We had to work really hard in our marriage, and
Sure.
my whole family is super dysfunctional. Like I said, we didn't get much into it. I mean, my family are criminals, and my dad was like the bouncer at his cousin's strip club. They'd launder the drug money through. I mean, it was fucking wild. But there's nothing for me that's more valuable than the marriage that I have, the relationship I have with my wife, being with my kids and relationships. So it doesn't have to be kids, it's relationships. That's the primary for me, but it's really the people. And I'm not looking to lose my multi-million-dollar business. I'm not looking to go broke. But if my option is lose my soul and lose my family or become a billionaire, I'll take my family and be broke every day of the week.
100. My wife and I have said we'd rather be in a dirt hut, madly in love, than be in a mega mansion and not, be two ships in the night,
That's it.
And listen, I got a joking tip for you though. When you get to be about my age and the kids are all grown up, you want them to leave. You're done. You're like, all right, it's time for me and the wife to just do our thing.
I get it.
I love my kids. I have 6. So, I mean, I love them all, but I love them that they're going away.
Oh, when you become an adult, you got to live your life.
Yeah.
You got to live your life. I know for me, long term, one of the biggest things that I'd love to have happen is that we have relationships with our adult kids, that they want to be at holidays and they want to be together.
Yes.
You're with your grandkids, and that's something that we think about a lot. So on that note, which was the genesis of this, I love to do speaking and stuff, but as long as it's going to fit within the confines of what my top priority is time-wise.
You're not going to cut your nose off to spite yourself. Yeah, I got it. That makes total sense. Right. Well, Anthony, I know you're a busy guy. So do you have a podcast yourself?
So we did it. It was like a year project. We got like 60 episodes or something up there. We're talking about rebooting it in 100 projects. Me and my brother-in-law are doing it, but it's the Extraordinary Excellence podcast. There's a bunch of good stuff on there. The story I didn't get to share because we're over time was first time we batched episodes. It's mid-COVID. We just set some shit up in the garage. And we're like drinking White Claws, and it's COVID, so like we're all drinking heavier than we should be. So we're sitting, and we did like 4 hour to hour back to back, like boom, 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 right? So we're like 4 hours deep, and I hadn't gotten up. We get to the last one, and it's like we pounded like 18, 20 of these guys. So that last podcast, I think it's with Rob Novotny. It's like the 4th one on there. Me and Sean are hammered. We made it through. I think we put it out, but we were like it was rough.
It was all on White Claw.
It was all on White Claw, man.
Zach, they were full on game mode, man.
It's all on White Claw, flaming, man, flaming.
Steve, Florida would welcome you. Drink your White Claw.
That is a freaking great story, man.
It was like,
funny,
and you guys know,
great.
You pull it together.
Story. I haven't had a drink since 2007, but I think Derek and we could do a show hammered. It would be ridiculous, I think. But
I got no.
But I'm not going back.
I probably
to
only
drinking,
drink once every 3 months most of the time, if that.
Yeah, I'm not a drinker either.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, once you get old, it's like all I'm thinking about is like, okay, if I have a drink at 5 and it's
totally,
7, I'm good by 9, and I can eat and drink and have a normal sleep and normal, like you just, and when you having kids, right, now throw in another element, right? So it's like, you're like, okay, this is my window.
Yeah, for sure.
I need to have 2 drinks. And then you're just
chug a bottle and then I'm good for the rest of the day.
So then you go like a week, a month, 6 months. And I mean, I've gone years where it's just like, yeah, I just don't have time for that right now.
I'm with you.
For that right now. And then I'm going to cruise in like 3 days. I'll have 3 drinks, it's just weird. Like, it's just, I think it's a good when you get in control of it, whether you're someone who has like a drink, 1 drink a day, or if you're someone who gets hammered once a year, do you control like your, that urge you get from excessive alcohol where, you almost have the shakes and stuff? Are you in control of it? And I think that's a good thing to be, no matter if you're someone who's like no booze whatsoever, or someone who's like, hey, I'm a normal adult. So that was my whole thing, like just being in my early 20s, and like, we all got smashed and went out and did all this stuff. But like, I didn't really get, I realized by mid 20s so quickly that I couldn't control a thing. Like it's all or nothing. I just stopped for 7-8 years, like nothing whatsoever, health and fitness. But now that I'm older, like I'm really proud of the fact that like I can go 6 months and not think about it, and then I can get in a situation where like I can have 2 or 3 and feel really good and know exactly when to stop, come down, and then the next day is like the next day.
Yep.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
just having control over something instead of something having control over
Absolutely.
you. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And I think that's the
100%.
difference. I think that's
Well,
the big part of it.
I
So.
quit drinking because I was an Olympic gold medalist, so I had
I
to.
get it,
Well,
man.
you recognized your point. Everyone has their point
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
when they can't stop, right? And if for
Yeah.
you it was like, think about it, and a fifth is gone, then you shouldn't do it.
Well,
Totally.
yeah.
And that mine
Absolutely.
used to be that too, but I'm proud that I've evolved it to where it's like, cool, I can have 2, stop, go on with life, drive home, everything's good, wake up in the morning and good. I love that. I just love the control, whether it's 2 drinks a year or 2 drinks a month. Like the control over it is just such a thing to be proud of. Like not letting a substance dictate,
Oh, yeah.
your schedule or your life or your relationships with your family.
Except
Well,
for
yeah,
Coke
like we
Zero.
were talking about it there. That's my advice. I like Coke Zero. We were talking about it.
But even these, I used to drink 10 of these a day, Anthony. Now it's like 2. There'll be days of a 3-day, but like even that too, it's kind of like okay,
I get it.
just make sure you're in control of it.
I get it.
Yeah. So, and on that note, we don't have to go into a whole drinking story, but
You'll tell me offline. I love to hear it.
yeah. No, what I was just gonna say is, we were talking about the other day, and I don't miss it at all. Even
love
one
it.
drink, I don't need it.
No.
And because we were talking about cigars, because I'm big into cigars now. I guess it's an old white dude thing. I don't know. No, I shouldn't say that.
It's an
just
old bear
dude.
thing.
No, and
Steve
I
Harvey
belong
loves
to
a
a
cigar.
cigar club, and anyway, I'm really into it. And people are like, "Yeah, but didn't you quit smoking 30 years or 20 something years ago?" I said, "Yeah, but it's a totally different
different.
lifestyle."
It's
Yeah,
different.
I thought it was going to suck me right back into cigarettes. I have no desire, none.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Anyway, Anthony, great guest. We'd love to have you back.
Oh, I'd love to, man. I had a good time with you guys.
I think you can bring a lot more to the table. Maybe next time we'll have an outline on what we should talk about instead of diving all over the place.
He's really happy that you gave him that validation that he brings more to the table than what he's brought us today. I'm very proud. He's very proud of that endorsement from you, Zach. It really changes the landscape of his life.
One of these days, where is that mute button for Derek? I gotta find that.
Turn it up.
No, it gets shut off. Anyway, you see what I deal with, Anthony? See,
validation, man.
It's the only way to go, man. Gotta have fun.
Clearly, this is a man in need of validation.
This is why Florida
as
we're allowed to
dependent
carry.
he is on everyone else.
This is why we're allowed to carry guns in Florida. You don't like what he said? That's it. I'm done. Anyway. But listen, we appreciate it. Is there anything you need to promote before you go?
No, man. If you want to connect, my personal cell phone number, which people are like, oh, I've been giving my personal cell phone number in my book and everywhere. The reality is 99% of people are never going to reach out. But if you have a question, you want to chat, you want to send me a text, I can help you at all. My cell phone is 631-327-2241. The website we made, Spark a Change Coaching. If you want to check that out, you can find me on Instagram as _, but if you search Anthony Spark, usually it comes up. But yeah, if you want to check out the podcast, there's plenty of stuff. But if you want to connect, if I can be of service in any way, shape, or form, happy to. That's why I do this.
Is your podcast on YouTube?
I think it's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. I don't think it's on YouTube though.
It's an audio, not video?
It was all audio. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Spotify, Apple. Okay, cool. We will definitely check that out. I'll make sure Laura puts it in the deets. Anthony, once again, thank you. Make sure everybody out there, always a pleasure bringing a show out to you. Make sure you follow us we're on all the socials. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever it's called nowadays, and TikTok. We're on the TikTok.
Nice.
Derek likes to be on TikTok. He's a 12-year-old boy, so he likes TikTok and he likes Disney.
I hate TikTok with a passion.
We do really well on it though. So,
dude, if I'm on it for more than 10 seconds, I go on and I see, okay, what did
our shorts do well. If you notice, the numbers are good. Anyway, check us out. We're also on all the audio platforms: Apple, Spotify, all the big names. I think we're going to be on Buzzsprout or Buzzsprout. Is that what it's called?
No,
that's the platform we used when we did our podcast.
Yeah, I hear it's pretty cool.
I think that that 1 year project is like 65,000 downloads. I don't know what the stats are in the podcast world, but
we the more downloads we get is the better. I mean, we're growing everywhere. And we thank everybody for following, and we appreciate you. We love you. We'll be back. Oh, it's Thanksgiving week, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. There will not be a show Thursday, so this is in lieu of Thursday.
Nice.
You're watching this. Somebody's watching it. It'll be like next year going, what are they talking about Thanksgiving next week? Anyway, Thanksgiving is in, for us, it's in 3 days. And so happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank you for watching. We love you, and we can't wait to see you again. Until next time, peace.